Well, this is by far the fastest method of exporting an object right from 3ds Max right into Revit architecture. Essentially, we are not using any of the default options in 3ds Max or Revit. It is the Vray part that is going to export the objects right from 3ds Max or any of the Vray compatible softwares. Like you can do the same process for exporting an object right from Revit to SketchUp or SketchUp to Revit or anything. It is the simple process of converting the object right into Vray mesh and loading that object right from the other software, exporting an object right as Vray mesh and importing that object right as Vray mesh. That's a simple procedure. So I'm gonna create maybe a sphere. So before doing anything, let me customize the unit right from here. So I'll be preferring millimeter as my unit, so let it stay there. And maybe I'm gonna create a teapot here, and maybe some other shapes, just like an extended primitives, and maybe a chamfer box here. Alright, that's clear. Okay, now get into the render setup. And like to change the render engine right into Vray. That is quite important. Alright, so the next object is let me assign some materials here, and it really doesn't matter what material you apply, what type of material you apply. That really doesn't inherit right into our software. So maybe I'm gonna clone two materials here. So we are having two type of material here, and maybe one I'm gonna change the color a bit. It's not really important. Vray mesh doesn't have any option to reload the materials. That's maybe you can call it as a problem. Okay, I'm gonna select the object and right click and convert to Vray mesh export, and this is the option that we're gonna take, and I would like to export it right into my desktop. Okay, pick up the first option that will compress all these meshes right into a single scene, and well, this is the file name, and I'm gonna create a multi-sub object. This is quite important. I need to enable this option. Why? Because we need to see the separate materials for different objects. Okay, you can enable or disable this option, it really doesn't matter, and I'm gonna hit OK. So maybe the meshes might have exported. I didn't have any confirmation message, and let me get into Revit. Maybe I'm gonna fix a component here, and maybe gonna get into the 3D view. Okay, this is the Vray part doing the job. Maybe I'm gonna create an RTX and merge this into a light brute force. The light cache is not able to use the graphics card for render. It will still use CPU, but I don't want to use CPU. It's crazy. Alright, next I'll allow to use Vray Interactive. Before that, I would like to get into the asset editor, and here we are having, and before doing anything, let me create two materials. Maybe an aluminum blurry and maybe, I don't know, maybe a glass material. Okay, so we are having two materials here, and now get into the geometry option, and I'm gonna take a Vray proxy mesh. It's right here. I think this is the chamfer box VR mesh, and gonna get into the property. We are having two materials here, and it's not showing up the same color that we had assigned. It's showing a different color, and also it's practically not possible to say which material is first and which material is second. So maybe for that, I'm gonna make use of the interactive render option here to understand the type of materials applied. Okay, so we are having the desk or table right here. Now let's get into the appearance manager and get into objects, and this is the desk, and I'd like to replace that right with the proxy mesh here. So right now you can see that two objects are here, and we can adjust the scale as the size has been updating right here. You can rotate it, and if you randomize it, I think the size will be quite different. You can provide the minimum scale and the maximum scale, and you can randomize this rotation and everything right here. That's all what you would like to do right from here. And now let's get back into the asset editor, and I like to replace the materials. Okay, so this is aluminum blurry, and that's aluminum, and this one goes for the glass dirt. Yeah, I can see that's right here. And well, that's all. So this is the simplest way of exporting a material across any Vray platform. And thanks for watching.